Okay, bye. How's it going, everyone? It's Levi, Mondays with Levi on Ambiguity. I'm gonna cover the topic I missed last week. Really sorry about that. I actually filmed a video and everything, but my computer is just like full of stuff and I need to... Porn. So last week's topic was talking about our opinions on sex ed, our experiences with sex ed. I don't remember that much just because I didn't pay attention and I was not sober. But basically, as I recall, it was not called sex ed, it was called health. And we learned about things other than just sex. And it was very heteronormative and very cisnormative, like very cookie cutter, scientific kind of education. And I learned about it in the 9th grade when I was 14 or 15. And I think kids need to be learning about this kind of stuff a lot sooner than that, because by 15 I was already having sex and I hadn't learned about, I mean obviously I knew what sex was by then, but I didn't learn about sex until I was 15. But then again, I didn't learn about the kind of sex that I was having. It was all very, yeah. It needs to be a little bit more realistic in terms of approach. I think a lot of teachers just go into it with this kind of textbook lecture almost, and a lot of times kids ask questions and the teacher thinks that they're being, a class clown or something, but most of the time these kids actually have questions that need to be answered. And I think in my experience the teacher has done a pretty awful job at answering serious questions that may not have been worded seriously because the student wasn't comfortable in the environment, which is another problem. Like, these kids feel awkward and not totally comfortable with what they're learning about. And I think if you have a cool teacher who, knows what they're doing, knows what they're talking about, and isn't, overtly textbook, I think kids will be a lot more comfortable in their learning environment. And if they're more comfortable, they're more willing to learn, and yeah, that's my opinion. For trans kids, I know that studying and there are going to be slides and movies and, birthing videos and all this stuff during sex ed, and I know a lot of it can be triggering for dysphoria, and it can just be really hard to watch and hard to look at, especially with the kind of information you're being given about these different organs, like the way that they're supposed to be used and all this baloney. Just don't take it too seriously. I mean, obviously it's a class and you have to pass it, and so you should take it serious in that sense, but don't take it personally, I guess. Try not to let it affect you too much. Just kind of think of it as science fiction or something, and just like you're taking a science fiction class and you have to learn about these things and pass it. And maybe do your own research on, sex for trans people, sex for queer people in general, because I know that teachers don't talk about different kinds of sex. They talk about the sex that, makes babies, kind of thing. So you're gonna want to do your own research, maybe find an older queer/trans person that you feel comfortable talking to about sex, because I know that can be kind of an iffy subject for a lot of people. This week's topic, I think, is talking about makeup slash contouring for trans masculine people. First, I just want to say that wearing makeup as a trans masc person doesn't make you any less masculine. It doesn't make you any less trans. It's very, it's, you know, it's one of those things where it's gender neutral, and it doesn't matter, you know, what your gender identity is. Like, anything that you do complies with your gender identity. I wear makeup pretty much daily, just like basic concealer and stuff, especially now because I'm breaking out a lot. Crap, my battery's gonna die again. And then sometimes I fill in my eyebrows, sometimes I don't. But that's about as much as I do. Sometimes I paint my nails, or my girlfriend paints my nails. But
I do this.
yeah, I know there are like crazy amounts of YouTube tutorials because Toma watches them all the time. And I know there are a lot there's a lot of like makeup tutorials for men, right? And just, I don't know, play around with it, honestly. Yeah, I guess that's it. Personal updates. I'm about a month and a half on T. I went in to get my learning session done to give myself, to do the injections myself, and I could not for the life of me give myself the shot. I don't know what it was, but I just freaked out a little bit. So I had the nurse do it, and I'm supposed to go in again next week to do another learning session, but I'm hoping by then I can just do it myself and cancel that appointment. Not a lot of changes have been going on that I've noticed. Started school, pretty cool. And yeah, I guess that's it. I will see you next week. Yeah, have a good week, have a good life. Tell your loved ones that you love them. And bye!